This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, we go to the blue-white roots of competitive CGB. Yep, blue-white control. They hate me. They would rather I wasn't here, but I keep coming back for more like Eminem would. So, must be a white boy from Michigan thing. But anyway, there's a lot of new cards for blue-white control, and we are still in those super early days of the format. So I want to take a quick moment to point out that my crafting guide is definitely built with the mindset from what I've seen through the years about where metas settle, not where they begin. Because here early in the format, everything's possible. Nobody knows what's good. We're playing with new stuff. The decks that don't have new cards have a little bit of a disadvantage because they weren't tuned to battle these new cards. So everything seems good. Croaky's, if you follow him on Twitter, breaks the format like 5 times a day or something like that. Everything's broken. Everything's amazing. And this is a time that people really like about Magic. So it's a good time for cards like Dream Trawler and Thassa's Intervention and Shatter the Sky and the Birth of Meletis and Omen of the Sea to see if these cards actually work. Labyrinth of Scophos and just so many crazy new cards. Let's go over them really quick. This card is nuts. I love this card. This card is everything blue-white needed last format and didn't have. All you want to do is hit your land drops and stay alive, because late in the game you should win, and this card does such a good job of that. You get a plains, so it gets not card advantage, but it's even. Like, you get a land for your card, and then you get an 0-4 wall, and if the 0-4 wall does anything useful, that's card advantage. And then number 3, you gain 2 life, just a little life boost, so that red decks have to work harder. And that's all I want in life. I want red decks to have to work for it, people. Make them work for it like everybody else. Omen of the Sea, flash, 1 in a blue. When Omen of the Sea enters the battlefield, scry 2 and draw a card. Sacrifice it to scry 2. I did not like this card, but this deck really wants a 2-drop. And you might say, CGB, is this a bad radical idea? Is this a bad anticipate? Both of those cards are options, but I think the scry 2 and then draw is really good. But there's something else about this card. It sits on the battlefield as an enchantment, and that means Teferi can bounce it to your hand to play it again. It's one of those micro synergies that you'd think doesn't matter, but gives me this warm and gooey feeling inside that I don't know how to explain. And then, of course, we have the standbys, the holdovers from last format. Teferi, Absorb, Brazen Borrower, Time Wipe, Answering Threats, Killing Things, 3 Gadwicks to draw a bunch of cards. We have 4 Shatter the Sky, the new Wrath. Just blow it up, baby. So what? They draw a card. All their creatures died. We'll draw more cards, and our cards will answer those cards. We can't seem to stop opponents from gaining card advantage anymore. It seems to be built into every color. So if everybody's drawing cards, then kind of the value of each individual card does get diminished. And with this deck, Shatter the Sky, we can blow up all their creatures. They draw 1 card. We can cast Gadwick and draw 3, 4, 5 more and more cards to just kind of erase that advantage over time. Now the top end, the cards that are the heavy hitters. Dream Trawler, 3/5 flying lifelink. When you draw a card, +1/+0. When it attacks, draw a card. I did have this down as a 0 craft. Oh yeah, discard a card. Hexproof. Tap it. I've actually been more impressed by this card while playing it. Nobody has answers to it yet. If anybody actually cared about killing this card, you'd see more Angraths. Rampages. Liliana has a sacrifice effect. I think it's Liliana's Triumph. But there are things out there that get this card, and straight up wrathing it. The fact that it's a 3/5, you don't even draw a card when it gets wrathed is kind of bad. But this card has surprised me and has stolen games the way good old Baneslayer Angel would, just by being a big, beefy, lifelinking threat. So I like it a lot. It's another snowbally card because it draws extra cards each turn. Heliod's Intervention, destroy X artifacts or enchantments. Target player gains twice X life. Happy to take the life. Also happy to blow out these constellation decks that are showing up and those food decks. Just destroy it all. Thassa's Intervention, look at the top X, put 2 of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom. Great with a ton of mana. Or counter, target spell, unless its controller pays twice X. From turn 3 on, this card has just been a counter spell if I need it, or a draw 2 if I need it. The flexibility's amazing, and it keeps me from having to run too many narrow counter spells. Dovin's Veto doesn't feel right to me right now, but Thassa's Intervention sure does. And one finale of Revelation for the worst win con of all time. We're going to shuffle our library back into our graveyard back into our library, rather, and have no maximum hand size. So we'll just have all our counter spells in our hand, and our opponent will deck out. Ta-da! Alright, the land base also has some freshies. We're trying the Temples of Enlightenment for the Scry, because new cards. Castle Ardenvale and Castle Vantris, you know them, you love them, they're weird. A Field of Ruin to go, this is back in Standard, and you can go take out opposing castles. And a Labyrinth of Scophos, which removes an attacking or blocking creature from combat. Can be very handy. I think you'll see it come up. Let's dive in. Let the blue-white torture begin. The Guardian of Pluto. The Guardian of Pluto? But the Guardian? Oh, because we're playing cards. It's clever. You get it. This hand is awesome. I love Gadwick for my card draw because if things are going badly but you can find the blue sources, you can just play out a creature to block. Whereas most card draw spells just say, you take it right on the chin. I definitely have a deck that I'm brewing up with that is blue-white control-ish around Thirst for Meaning, which is the new blue draw 3, discard 2 unless you discard an enchantment. And that card is good, but I don't think it's good in this specific deck. Let's get the Birth on the battlefield. The sooner we get that sweet, sweet plains, the better. Why the lag? I just restarted my computer. What's up? Must be the opponent. Don't like that. It's hurting my viewers' experience. So the opponent knows about this plains. If we play the blue source, it will be pretty obvious that we have a counter as well, but whatever. Let them see it coming. This wall, though, is amazing. Like, this into Teferi is so good because you have a creature to defend Teferi. Oh. Midnight Clock, huh? That might hurt my mill plan. Should I counter a mana rock, though? I don't think so. You can have it. I'll figure out what to do about you later. Maybe we just play Brazen Borrower games. Time Wipe is here. My opponent's on green-blue, so it can't be that bad. I don't know about Field of Ruin, though. I can probably do better. Don't see anything to Field of Ruin just yet. This is also good for that Heliod's Intervention when I find it. So letting it sit on the battlefield doesn't scare me too much. Let's take this moment to play a tapped Hallowed Fountain. Say go. And now we hold up the ability to scry 2 off the Omen if we want to. Or counter something. Our mana's looking good. Our cards are looking good. Whatever the opponent's up to, we just have to figure out what it is and then, like a surgeon, surgically remove the very most important part of it so they cannot win. And then we'll get around to winning when we feel like it. So this is a 3/3 body that also draws a card. It looks like the opponent's struggling with mana. I think that's a very good reason to absorb Gadwick here. It's kind of like getting a 2-for-1 plus really hitting our opponent on a turn when they needed to do something. And there's Teferi. Having Teferi on the field can be really nice. Although playing him right now takes the shields down from the intervention. I think it's worth it. And let's bounce the Midnight Clock and make our opponent start the countdown all over again. So, 4 manas. Can you punish me for playing this Teferi? I guess Questing Beast is among the most awkward things, but I don't know what my opponent is doing yet. This is going to be one of those learning moments. Brazen Borrower on my wall. Rude. So they did get to Teferi. Blue-green decks with removal. This is so new. Do you know that for years blue-green decks couldn't remove anything that was on the battlefield? Absolutely not. And now here we are. So I don't think I want to Gadwick. I think I want to hold up the intervention until I counter something important, and then I'll Gadwick, and then I'll time wipe, and then I'll Gadwick. So that's my description of the next couple turns, but I will keep it to Teferi. Oh yes, I will. This deck has so many toys in its mana base. It's one of the things I like about it. This is fine. It's annoying, but it's fine. The opponent might just do this thing where they attack me and then draw a card. Try to play the long card advantage game with CGB right here. Third person. He did it, guys. He third personed. Alright. We'll take that hit. It's fine. Do I hold the intervention? Or do I play the intervention? We could also make a 1-1. We could also scry 2, but I know I want my top card, so it seems like a waste. Let's make the 1-1 instead. Probably won't matter much in a time wipe world, but at least it's something to step in front of the Paradise Druid. And I don't think I play a Gadwick here when the opponent might counter it. Let's try to have Teferi down when this happens. Frilled Mystic, huh? Counter target spell. 1 will do because it's twice X, so it's going to ask them for 2 mana. You have to have a moment of zen when you hover over the card you want to counter, because if you're twitchy at all or trying to click too fast, you'll counter your own spell. Speak from experience, folks. I speak truth. Alright, this Teferi I don't want to get attacked into the ground. This Teferi is going to plus.
Let's try this.
No questing beasties. The clock is here. Sailor is going to check Teferi.
I won't let you win.
Clock is going to tick. We'll plus our Tefers. And it is Gadwick time, in my opinion.
I am not making this up as I go.
Let's get some cards. Can't be countered right now. So you're paying 4 mana to draw a card. I'm getting cards at 1 mana, 1 card. It's a good rate. You should switch banks. Alright. The Birth of Melitus is fine. The Absorb is very good. The Time Wipe is getting ready to roll. The opponent needs to commit a little bit more to the board to make it good. I believe they will. I don't think if they're a Frilled Mystic deck they can sit behind a Teferi wall. I think that they know they have to get more aggressive. Mass Manipulate my Teferi. That's not good. What are you going to bounce? The opponent found a good way to take advantage of our tapped out turn, but if they don't bounce the Gadwick, I think we're going to attack down this Teferi and it's going to be okay, because we do have to get it off the battlefield. Okay, they're going for Gadwick. That's a lot of cards. Bold move. So if I can find a Brazen Borrower, I'm in really good shape. But I can't. Not yet. See if the opponent decides to defend this Teferi now. They probably feel pretty good about having it. Yeah, I don't blame them. Okay, Teferi takes 1 on the chin.
Want me to phase you out of time?
I think I just draw another 6. I've got to do whatever I can, and I don't have anything to do with my mana because of Teferi. So keep it coming, G-Daddy. And now we find the Brazen Borrower. We can definitely let these planes go, and I don't think we need all this Birth of Melitus this late in the game. But we can let this land go. We also have all 3 Gadwicks. I don't know if that's going to be necessary. Discarding Gadwick is kind of a baller move. I think we'll keep 1 Birth for kind of a land, and both the Gadwicks. It's possible I should have just kept the land instead of the Birth. that I don't want to pay mana for it next turn.
Trust me, I have a plan.
I do have a plan. If the opponent has a Frilled Mystic, my plan won't work out very well. Can't fight a counter war with Teferi on. Whoa! Whoa, Big Daddy! Whoa! Okay then.
You cannot run or hide.
Alright, we're gonna have to kill that. 5? I can't do 5. I did draw another Teferi. Use the colorless mana right away. I know I'm not gonna have a lot of room for that. Give me this. Tap yo wolf. Replay Teferi. What do I leave up? I guess I'm not drawing another card necessarily this turn. Alright. Wolfie tap. We can
Thank me later.
throw an attack in here. See if the opponent wants to defend Garrick, sorry, not Gadwick. And then I'm probably plussing Teferi and shattering the sky at some point. The opponent might be able to minus G Daddy, but there's only 2 wolves right now. Alright, there is a chump. Like it. So what do I do about this? I can tap it by playing a spell. A blue spell, specifically. So an Absorb would be nice. I could flash in a Brazen Borrower to tap a wolf, and then Teferi lives. Just some examples of the nonsense I can get up to. But I think Brazen Borrower has to help me kill this. I didn't play a land for the turn, so I can play the Birth of Meletis. Go get a Plains. It takes Shatter the Sky off the table, but I decided that wasn't my play anyway. I may as well. The opponent is probably just going to make 2 more wolves, but if they minus the Garrick on the Gadwick, that would be nice. Oh, they do. Oh, I didn't flash in my Brazen Borrower. I was supposed to. It's a big mistake. I guess it means Teferi takes a beating, but if the opponent does that, my 1/1 takes out the Garrick. Maybe that's fine, since I do have another Teferi. Maybe that's what's best. Maybe that's best for business. Okay, Gadwick wants to play. How much? For 2. Do we care about our opponent having 2 cards? And leaving up 2 mana, so they've got something else, but they would have to use the Paradise Druid to play it. Let's counter this. Let's fight for cards. Because the opponent, if they want to kill Teferi, they need a 1 blue way to keep this from killing the Garrick. So, maybe they have a Spectral Sailor. The Teferi will force it. Now we get our wall. Here's the Sailor. Ooh, unsummon. Not what I expected. Do we deal? We could intervene on that to make sure the Gadwick dies. Or the Garrick, I should say. We don't have a backup counterspell, though. So if they get rid of this, our opponent will just have something else. And I guess getting them to use an unsummon there isn't the worst thing that could happen.
This isn't a fight you can win. This might be a bad idea.
They're still setting up a sweet time wipe and a way to kill Garrick through the air with the Borrower. We just need to keep our Teferi alive. So I can hold up an Intervention and play the Brazen Borrower, or I can Gadwick again. I think we say go here. We do have instant speed Wrath if we don't mind Garrick ultimating. Although after Garrick activates, he can't ultimate this turn.
You cannot run or hide.
But I'd much rather kill Garrick first. I'd much rather flash in Borrower, kill Garrick. Murmuring Mystic. That's a card. That can make killing Garrick very hard. The opponent would have to play an instant. They must have something, though. And right now they have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would have to play this for 5, which means I don't play the Borrower? That's not good. Alright. Circuitous route, tap out. Sure. It was Canadian there for a second, right? Alright, so Shatter the Sky. Yes. This will go up to 5, which doesn't ultimate. It's a -6, so everything's good. We're okay. Not to mention we get to play the Borrower. Clock is on 8. We probably need to bounce it before our opponent gets a fresh 7 cards. Wow, that sound. What next? Gadwick, I'm sure. So we should leave up 3 mana. So, let's see what this is. Five. Found the trawler. Don't need to scry right now or a land that causes pain. More wolves, yep.
We were born for the hunt.
Clock. We certainly seem to have found the best position. Our opponent's deck is an interesting collection of stuff. And it's clear that they have some big tap out cards that are available to them. So we have to make sure that we're countering only the biggest and worst things that could happen to us. Mass Manipulation and Gadwicks are certainly on that list. Granted. The problem with Granted is our opponent could find cards that can't be countered. So I think we just have to counter this as well. Not to mention, the opponent can bring it back and use it multiple times. Whatever's in that sideboard, we don't want any of it. I guarantee that. Into the story, draw 4. The deck will not quit. Okay? This is definitely a worthy battle. Whatever this Sultai ramp deck is, it is persistent. It's keeping me working.
I've got it.
Dream Trawler, use Gadwick to tap the wolf. Brazen Borrower can crush this. Gadwick can hit the face a little bit. Should we be that aggressive? We have enough answers that I think we can afford to be. Things are looking nice. The Brazen Borrowers can keep the clock from ever really going off. They can also answer the wolf tokens if I care about them. Paradise Druid isn't scary to me, not at this stage. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it isn't being declared as an attacker, you may draw a card. Wow. Wow. There's one you don't see every day, people. Okay. I'll play your game. Let's dance. What if I can somehow gain control of it? I don't think I have those tools right now in this deck. No Agent of Treachery. So when the opponent taps 5 mana to target one of my things for a tap, I'm going to bounce their Verity Circle so that they spend a ton of mana on not much effect. And that's tempo. At least that's the plan. By the way, we have the great Dream Trawler Gadwick combo. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this hits for 14 right now. This is 17. That's pretty good. This gets in the way. But the opponent can't flash it in because of Teferi. Yeah, I think we're going to kill them with an epic snowball Dream Trawler. Because Dream Trawler says whenever you draw a card, +1/+0 until end of turn. Okay. Whoa. Okay. When it wants to put a mark on Teferi, fine with me.
No more games.
As long as it's on the battlefield, I don't care much about if and when I use the ability. Right now, plussing is just fine. 35 life, how did this happen? Alright, we have to bounce the Verity Circle so it can't tap down the Trawler to keep us from doing the nonsense we plan to do. This is in the opponent's end step, so if they use the circle here to draw a card, that's fine with me. We'll also play out the Borrower for some overkill, in case my math is wrong somehow. Yeah. But still hexproof over here. Still looking good in hexproof. Tick tock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Prepare yourself to get dream trolled. Oh my lord. How glorious. Now that's a proper finishing move. We'll just pull you out of it so that the Paradise Druid doesn't sit there being like, well, can I block? Would you like to put a counter on your Midnight Clock? That's the only thing holding priority now. And, yep. Bang. Whatever. Nice name. Now, what do you want your handle to be? Whatever. Okay, we'll work with that. If we draw blue source, his hand is fine. If we draw any land, we have Shatter the Sky on 4, so an aggro start can be contended. It's definitely risky, but I have a lot of mana in my deck. Ooh. Themia, the Cacophony. A card a lot of people are very hyped about that I have not been hyped about. I think we just bounce it. Let's just play the bounce game and not fall too far behind on the board. So whenever, at the beginning of your end step, you may exile an enchantment card. Boing. No damage for you. Treacherous Blessing's gonna draw 3. Yeah, every color gets card advantage, but you do have to discard. It comes with a price. What do you think? Do we bounce Treacherous Blessing? Doesn't seem good. Doesn't seem good at all.
Oh, I've done the hero thing.
You could have discarded an enchantment. And there is Doom Foretold. Yeah, this game I think might already be over. It's definitely awkward, right? Because bouncing the Blessing isn't going to do much for me. I think we play this out and plus it, and then we can flash in Brazen Borrower.
Longer. Stand by and watch.
And we'll see if the opponent can remove the Teferi. Make sure we put a stop here. Femia, sure. And you have something else. It's going very well for you. It's going very, very well for you. Alright. Flash this in. So these Doom Foretold decks are pretty frustrating, as you can see. It looks like we're going to get Teferi killed, then the Doom Foretold goes off, but the opponent might go face instead. If they do, we lose the Teferi. I guess the Brazen Borrower can still be very helpful. But how do we ever get traction in this game? I don't think we can, really. Like, wearing them out on their enchantments doesn't seem like it's going to work out. Still, this can be helpful against Ephemia in all kinds of ways. I guess we try to go long. Weird. And the opponent goes face because we have to sacrifice Teferi to Doom Foretold anyway. They get another 2/2. If we blow up the board, the opponent has to give up their Erebos. They can pay some life to draw a card, though. I think that we have this play, though, where we can Petty Theft the Erebos back to hand, shatter the sky, blow up the creatures, and the Doom Foretold goes away. So we worked our way through Doom. Our opponent's up a ton of cards. It's pretty scary. And now they have the Archon. We have another Shatter, though. It's okay. Board wipes? We do board wipes. One enchantment in the graveyard. This definitely isn't the good old, you know what the Dance of the Mance. We don't have to worry about that coming out of nowhere. So Shatter the Sky. No 4-power creatures. So no cards drawn. We can pass the turn, play Borrower. Next turn we can play Gadwick and refill the hand. Then Dream Trawler. The opponent's going to refill their hand too, because everybody gets card draw. Not just blue-white. Everybody gets hot card draw. Yep, this is not over. Flash in our Borrower to at least challenge Ephemia to a fight. The zombies continue. And how many for you? 5? You draw 3, I'll draw 5. It's not that great. The births are a little outclassed. The interventions aren't going to do much. Elspeth Conquers Death. That's a nasty one. So now I want to play some of these spells this turn because the turn after this one, non-creature spells cost 2 more. So I'm going to cast Dream Trawler the turn after that. Opponent's starting to get lower on what's in their hand, though. And the army continues to be assembled. We didn't draw and do another time wipe. It's really frustrating. An Erebos in hand? Okay, we do need to play the Dream Trawler this turn. We won't be able to counter anything usefully. Let's see, it's going to cost 2 more. So it would cost 2, 4, 6, 8. Actually, 10 mana I could make the opponent pay for their Erebos, so countering something is a good option. Let's see, they have... Making them pay 6 would be enough, so I can also get a birth down. Go get planes. Get it on the battlefield. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have to pay 2 extra, so pay 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Should be able to counter something. If not, we'll use the intervention to go find a Wrath. How many Ephemias did they draw? 3? They're just spamming them at me at this point. But this is a card advantage source Erebos, so it is very important to counter. Is twice X. So 3, because we have to pay 2 extra for Elspeth. Well, it's like 3, I have 3. Nah, you don't have 6, it's twice X. And now the opponent makes another creature, so we need Dream Trawler to live, or we need to find a Wrath. What do you think, everybody? Doesn't seem like I have many options. I need this to live. What is the opponent's removal? I've seen Doom Foretold. I've seen Oath of Kaya. If they have an Oath of Kaya, they can dome me with it and I'm dead, but they would have played it last turn, so they need to top deck it. The lifelink gets me up to 6, yeah? The Thassa's intervention does wear off, so having a counter open could do something. Seems unlikely, though. So I'm like thinking, do I want to play the birth? The counter open would make the opponent pay for extra. Just about everything, though, would be fine there, right? I'm gonna hold the counter. Who knows? Another Elspeth conquers death? I guess I can't stop that unless the opponent goes for something crazy first. Archon's good. Yeah, that'll do it. Ouch. They had it all, everybody. That was a tough game. Art Samurai. Let's go. Hand is all tap lands on the draw. Makes me nervous. Might be too slow, and I have borrowers already, and I really need to draw a land that will be untapped to fix this. And there you go, we drew one anyway. Okay, I'll take it. I might not want to play Birth next turn, we'll see. Mono black so far. Saying go. Weird. Alright. Well, I don't have a counter anyway. Let's play this Saga. Go get the planes. And play the tapped Vantress in case I don't draw an island for a while. So we have all of our tapped lands done. We got that out of the way. I built this deck with Mono Black Devotion in mind. This is the first time I've played it, other than a few testing games I ran into it here and there. And that is exactly what you want to see if you're in blue-white. Something that is very easy to bounce. So, Teferi, come on down. Do what you do. And we found an Absorb. So Absorb and a Bounce with a Borrower appear to be options for next turn. We'll see if the opponent runs that Shepherd back out, or if they deal with Teferi right away. It appears the answer is I'm dealing with Teferi right here, right now. Murderous Rider. The long-awaited arrival of the island. We have Scryland open, we have counters, we have bounce. We should be okay. Mono Black's a scary deck. So that is a 2-for-1. I guess I could exile this land and then go about drawing another. I'm not very scared of it on its own. But it's hard to bounce, which is one of the things I don't like. Don't like that. But I got this wall. I got this lovely wall. Nightmare Shepherd returns. That's easy to bounce, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and scry here. There's a land and another Teferi, so we can do both next turn. Feels good. Alright, Shepherd. Away with you.
Might be a bad idea.
And we'll shock and say go. Nice and slow. Don't let it end quickly. Make it long and painful. Yep. That is fine. We don't have to defend Teferi. We don't have to worry about a 2-3 for 3, other than being awkward to bounce. And land and go. Just buying time till we have a ton of lands, and then we can Gadwick, and then we can also hold up counters, finale. Make the opponent play out all their expensive cards again and again. You're using up mana on their turn. Here's my block. Would you like to pump this creature to deal a little more damage? And the opponent's going to use up their mana in that fashion, so we can Petty Theft this Shepherd. Keep the agony continuing, and we'll scry as well. Now that they've made all their plays for the turn, yeah, I just want to hit a land drop. It's pretty straightforward. Like, we can run that back. We can do that whole turn over again, get further through our deck, accumulate more resources, and just live that blue-white life. Erebos. That's a bit more of a pain, being indestructible and all, but it is also a very bounceable card. 2 and a black will sacrifice a creature, -2/-1 until end of turn. How much of a problem is that? This isn't a card I've played against much. I'm not sure if I need to kill it, remove it, bounce it, counter it. I don't know. I can definitely at least bounce it once while I decide. Okay, so our opponent's playing these out. We can bounce the Erebos with the Brazen Borrower and then Shatter the Sky to lower their devotion here. They're also drawing into Time Wipe, which I could... Yeah, let's do this. Let's Petty Theft the Erebos. Extremely petty. Let's play the Brazen Borrower. My turn. Draw the card. We don't want to do a Wrath with Shepherd or the Erebos on the battlefield. They have death triggers. So we always want to remove those, then get what we can from our Wrath. And let the party continue. 2 of those going to the bottom. Also helps keep the devotion low, so that Grey Merchant of Asphodel isn't that terrifying. Because it is a terrifying card when the opponent has a ton of devotion. Legitimately horrific card. Shepherd. You know what we're gonna do. Boing. The Labyrinth, nice. So is it time to gas up again? I think we want to absorb first, right? Yeah, we do have this counter. We should cast it first before we refill our hand. Maybe we'll shatter something as well. So what is their best win con? That god is pretty hard to deal with. This card is just getting obnoxious. Although it's probably more obnoxious for the opponent. I shouldn't even say those things. Somebody will point out that I am the obnoxious one. Now Knight of the Ebon Legion. Good. Alright, let's go ahead and scry 2. Knight is not good against Labyrinth and a bunch of mana. Ooh, there are 3 castles there. There's no way I'm going to get through them all. But hitting land drops is all I really need to do. So, we could draw a million. We could also hold Labyrinth up and let the opponent commit more to the board than Shatter the Sky. Let's wait a turn. Well, if the opponent plays the Erebos, means that when this dies, they get more life out of it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this done. So, how much? Six cards. Nope. Miscounted somehow. I always manage to mess it up. It's such a common thing. Alright. Cavalier of Night. Get rid of the G-Daddy. What do you got down here? Fenlurker? That's a little bit annoying. Bouncing the Cavalier of Night. Now that's pretty straightforward. Okay, the opponent doesn't get rid of G-Daddy. Do we make them use their mana? Gadwick's pretty powerful. I think I'll let my opponent pump this Knight if they wish. Here's to Fairy. Tap you.
I know my responsibility.
Hit a plus. So we now have instant speed Wraths. And let's just... Well, we want to tap things ahead of time, right? When and where do we want to Wrath? These can come into play and tap stuff. I don't know if that's actually necessary, though. Yeah, let's just pass the turn. We can probably milk this. Just make everything as horrible as possible. Grey Merchant. For a lot of devotion. If we Shatter the Sky first, a Fenlurker does come back. That's not fantastic. So, yeah, let's not. Tap down the Cavalier of Night because we can use the Labyrinth to set back the Knight of the Ebon Legion after the opponent puts mana into the card. Our opponent hasn't disrupted our hand much, only Fenlurker. I think that this deck does need Agonizing, I think it's Agony of Memory or something like that, and Drill Bit. Maybe not both, but one. So here is the mana into the Knight. Here is remove it from combat, and unlike a lot of these effects, the creature's still tapped, which I didn't process that before, but it's pretty good.
No, I am not making this up as I go.
I'm in no hurry to win the game, as you can tell. My opponent still has a full grip. There's a lot of work to be done. We're not going to tempo them out. We're probably going to have to Finale of Revelation something fierce. Uh-huh. I'm gonna sacrifice something this time and kill the Gadwick? Yes, you are. Okay. See how the opponent handles this attack step. Turn around. Two points are fine. Teferi's tough, he can take it. He's a big grown-up. Dream Trawler. Are we ready to trawl him? I think we are. I think that's where we're at. Shatter the Sky is gonna deal with these, but it brings back these. I can exile this Plains, easy enough.
Oh, I've done the hero.
And if I don't play this Plains, I think the opponent knows what's coming. Is there something I'd rather exile? Not really, no. I like these cards. So, yeah, they might just think I'm holding it for the next Fen Lurker. Erebos. Still not sure if that card scares me, but if I'm going to blow everything up, this does make things a lot harder. They can pay life to draw more cards and just keep the card advantage going. So I do this for 3. Not to mention, well, they're going to draw 1 card off Shatter the Sky anyway. That's not an important factor, but it was a thing. This version doesn't appear to have any cat ovens. The opponent going with Nightmare Shepherd, Cavalier of Night synergies instead. It says pay 3, but it's twice. You have to pay 6. That's not how this works. Yep. Another one? Rough. Alright, I guess I do this now. Two Knights. Okay. Doesn't add enough devotion to turn Erebos on. What do you think? Do we play Borrowers? I still think we hold the Borrowers to use with Gadwick. We're not in a hurry to attack our opponent. What about blowing up a castle? Doesn't really gain me an advantage here. Iliad's Intervention. Well, destroying indestructible things doesn't really work out for me. So I think this is Gadwick to tap down the Knights. So blue, blue, 1, blue, blue, 1. So I can do this. So this way I can still play 2 Borrowers, or possibly have a counter spell, and we did draw the counter. Do I want to bounce something? I guess I could bounce the Erebos. Solves the problem. Unfortunately, we have to discard now, but I think that's okay. I think I still have a Plains in my deck. I should have checked that first, but yep, still 2 Plains to go. Ooh, this is going to screw me up though because of the colorless sources. I'm not going to have the mana to do both. Ouch. Well, I have an Omen of the Sea that can tap something. Okay. The opponent's again going to go for a Cavalier of Night on the Gadwick. So let's see what they keep on the battlefield. They're going to sacrifice... They have to make the sacrifice and target first. So what that lets me do is I can flash now an Omen of the Sea and tap the other Knight, so it can't take out Teferi this turn. A lot of Cavalier of Night going on. Scry 2 and draw. Absorb and Borrower. Those are good. Those are good. And the game goes on and on. You gotta be in for the long haul, my friends. You gotta put in the work. No other commitments. So what do we do? Bounce this? I think so. Solid. Plus Teferi.
Don't worry, I got this.
Played Birth. Get myself a Plains. Last one in the deck. So do we play it? We might have to discard it. Hold up more counters. Wait for Dream Trawler. Or do we run out the Dream Trawler and make the opponent respect it? They have a Teferi. It's a good opportunity. It means they have to use mana on their turn to deal with it. Plus we still have counter spells. The card is a house. Another night, another dream, but always you. So I think now we're countering the Cavalier. We don't want the opponent to sacrifice this. I guess they still don't have the mana to take out the Teferi. Okay. Let's see what they do. They have to give up their creature and target first, which means I can do this. And now they don't hit. Hexproof. Oh, read it again. Read it again. Now, if they have a land, it is a little bit of a punish. Doesn't look like it, though.
That didn't pan out.
Oh, it's fine. Fairy always freaking out. Alright, castle. Another land is about what you'd want. Dream Trawler is not. I repeat, Dream Trawler is not legendary, so we could keep another, but we already have the finale set up to go with the Trawler, so. Is it over? Have we won the game? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16. And 17 is the card we draw off the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 12. And then we draw 1 from attacking. That's lethal. Hoi! Feels so good. Feels so good. We got our own little Mim-Mizzet here, friends. The true finisher. The owl is going absolutely nuts for it. Archimedes, we did it! Silverlock has a Chandra avatar, so this might get aggressive, and this hand is not up to the task. Oof. This hand isn't a lot better. No Birth of Meletus, no Brazen Borrower, no early play. An Absorb we can't cast off the Labyrinth. We can cast the Interventions, though. I actually think I put the Absorb away because of that. This is going to be tough, though. We might get run over. Help me, Archimedes. Do something. Maybe if you flap your wings or blink your eyes. Not a turn 1 creature. At least it doesn't have power. Not a 6-drop. Oh no. Oh no. Not like this. Teamer. Bibbles. This must be a Thassa deck? Alright, well. They've got cards. They're way up on me on cards, but so far they haven't put on a ton of pressure yet. Let's hope Thassa's intervention catches something good and that we draw land. That'll do. Slow this value down, please. It says 1, but it means 2. It means 2. Not a land. Ouch. Reef Part 2. Love getting mana screwed with basically 30 lands when you count the Birth of Melitaz as land. Half my deck to draw to, you guys, and I'll already mulligan once. So rude. So what do? We bounce the food? If the opponent can sacrifice it with the goose, so that's not good. We don't get to keep our borrower. We could bounce the reef, but the opponent just plays it again. I think we just hold. Land. Can't play the Shatter the Sky or the Time Wipe. We might have to intervene to get what we need. This Teamer Thassa type deck is so exciting these days. We could counter it. We could let the opponent have their triggers and set up in Wrath. We could also bounce this, but then the opponent can just replay it. I think we just let them have it, which sucks. But when you're gonna draw the double Risen Reef, like they always do, what can you do? What can you really do? How about triple? Can we get triple? Aging triple, oof. I mean, okay. This is probably the worst draw I think I've ever seen with this deck, and we're getting absolutely rolled on. Not a good feeling. Alright, let's get 2 cards. And try to reset this baby. Still can't find white. I mean, countering something isn't going to do me much good, but the opponent just plays Thassa and wrecks me, so I have to at least be ready for that. Alright, say go. Scampering Scorcher, can't let that happen. But wow. Talk about a card that's still in decks in 2020. Unbelievable, right? Alright. No, land card. They still have another reef, so I don't even get to blow it up. I mean, this is getting absolutely buried. We find the white source. All right. We'll start here. Make them do it all again, but I bet they can. I bet it's not even hard. Okay. Yeah. I have mana trouble. Hit me harder. Make it worse. That's what you get if you miss a land drop. Or an appropriate color for even one turn in current standard. You get brutally punished. Okay, please take the Gadwick. Please take the Gadwick. Nope. Of course not. White. Found it. Alright. The party continue. What would you like to do next? This deck needs Thassa. If the opponent has it, they've been through half their deck without it. But this is definitely an amazing Thassa deck. ETB City. Sideboard in Hushbringers. Ooh, that means you don't have a Risen Reef. And you already played your land. You should have played them after playing that. Okay. I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving me a chance, but I didn't draw another removal. I play the Trawler. How good is that? Can it get me back in the game, or should I just be using Gadwick here? I don't know. I feel like I need Absorb. I guess I can bounce this and absorb it, right? The opponent didn't put more pressure on the battlefield. Somehow in all this, they ran out of pressure. And if the opponent starts hitting land drops with the Omnath, they draw more cards. So yeah, I guess our play is to bounce that and absorb it. Hitting a land drop is great. Not over yet, I suppose. Let's keep looking for more Wraths, because I think Wrathing this opponent is the only way we keep up with their cards. That and them flooding. And again, they play the land first. Weirdo. Okay. Whatever. Whatever. It's fine. Alright. It's a good counter. Actually, it's not. Our opponent has way too much mana for this to be a counter anymore. So let's power up. More sweepers. Alright, and we hit on a land drop. All the Gadwicks. I want my lands back. I don't think I have a way to get them. I guess Field of Ruin, sort of. Trade? Trade with your card advantage card? I'm blown away. My opponent is an absolute mad lad. Alrighty. I don't have a counter. I don't have a way to protect you. The hexproof will have to do, but this might just get snowbally. I mean, we have 2 Gadwicks. We can gain a lot of life with this card. And see a lot of cards. It is not a short clock. The goose didn't make food. I am against a weirdo, crazy opponent. It must be 420 Saturday. Yeah, attack. Yes. They tapped out. Why would they do that? Why would they do this? All right, here comes my bird. My bird has much more attack. One punch Fae, baby. Let's go. They can eat a lot of food to gain a lot of life, so this won't kill them, but it will make a dent in their face. Okay, so they plan to give me the long rope now. Alright. Maybe that's why they tapped their goose. No, still doesn't explain it. I'm gonna stop trying to explain it. Okay, me and Archimedes are chilling. Absolutely chilling. Show you how chill I am. 2 timeouts to go. One timeout to go. My turn? See how they paused that right at the last second? They're trying to get me. It won't work. It won't work. We got a full-on exploiter of the timer. Hey, you got yourself to blame, dude. Play your Omnath first, then play your lands. You draw more cards. Maybe you wouldn't have run out of gas. Crazy. Absolute madness, right? I mean, it's not like our opponent wasn't ahead the whole freaking game. We were even mana screwed for a percentage of it. Fought our way back. We're the good guy here, as far as I'm concerned. Yep, run it down. Run it all the way down. Ooh, they did let it go. I think that means they don't get to eat food, right? Okay. I kill you now. Maybe. Anything not highlighted there? Good night. You hadn't roped me, it could have lived. Raws. Looking bolus-like. Yeah, this is a control mirror. Let's dance. Shatter the Sky is probably not good. The rest of this is good. We'll have to find another blue. Wait. Well, I guess it is the best color for control decks nowadays. Green. I guess I have to bottom the third Absorb because I need another blue source. Yep, blue-green. Color of control. Let's set this back a minute. Please don't. Island off the top would be much appreciated. Fail. What is with the color problems all of a sudden? Come on, deck. You're better than that. Got like 1,000,000 sources of blue mana. Literal million, I counted. Okay? We're gonna have to shatter this sky. Right now. What's up with the resurgence of elementals? Some new cards enter the meta and people are like, I wonder if elementals are good again. We drew 4 absorbs. We drew all the absorbs in the deck. Or at least saw all the absorbs in the deck before we saw a second blue source. Checks out. Seems good. Neoform into Risen Reef, because that's the only card that matters. It's a 1-card deck. Let's do it. Slow down. That's tall. That hits very hard. That bounces it. Have you met Teferi?
I'm known for my excellent timing.
That is some excellent timing. And there's our island. That is some excellent timing. So is that. I think I have to lose my Teferi, but I think that's fine. You did good, dude.
That's more like it.
You did good. I'm sure the opponent will attack you. Everybody hates Teferi enough to kill. Let the hate flow through you. Let the hate flow through you. That is another elemental. It's a little advantage. So I'm thinking if I draw... Okay. What's in this graveyard? Opponent can get back a Risen Reef. I could counter this and just keep them from filling their graveyard and getting something sweet back with when I time wipe, so I guess I will. There were a few things I'm thinking about there. Like if I draw another blue source, if I Gadwick first, and I think I do. This wall can go under a bus named Pelucranos. But we can draw 4 here. And then time wipe can get the Gadwick back. And it should be enough mana so we can have absorb and time wipe. Nom. I wonder if our opponent has Euro. Pelucranos is fine and all. Euro's a house. Okay. Pelucranos fights. Takes Gadwick out. Goes down to a 3/3. So no more Gadwick. We could play Teferi and instant speed time wipe. Or we could also have absorb open, which is probably better. If we're being real. Pelucranos comes back, I think. How much? 6. Such an easy card to bounce. Yet another reason why it's probably not the greatest. We can also have a turn, take a turn in Brazen Borrower instead. Maybe that's it. We get out our Brazen Borrower. Well, Brazen Borrower can trade with the Seer too. Yeah, we don't have to time wipe here. We can save it for a better time. Bounce the Pelucranos. Brazen Borrower can intercept the Seer, get that off the field. Set up another Gadwick. Stall, stall, stall. Very happy to trade my 3/1. Anytime I get to trade a Borrower in my control deck is a good day. Because it was a bounce spell and a removal spell. Oof. Lovely.
I'll protect you.
So, with this, we want to be able to play Omen. We don't need the other 3, I guess. So, 4 cards. Now you see here, we don't even need to hold up and use these absorbs that much. We're just drawing so many cards, it's not going to matter very much how many times we use counter spells until like very late and only on things that are really scary. So what do we want to hold? I think we're just discarding all the land because our cards are so good. Fight. Knock that to 3. It's a little annoying. I honestly forgot the fight thing. Got me there. But it's fine. There's another Teferi. Bibbles. Bibbles and squibbles. Omen. Oh man. Trollum. Seems good. I guess we should time wipe first. We could always Trawler and then wipe after. I guess fighting it's not very good right now. The opponent has something in their hand. Their threats aren't very threatening yet. Yeah, this does hold up absorb. Here's a food. Sorry. I still get this thing where I just have to cough sometimes, even though I'm feeling a lot better. I think we just don't let this happen. Although, there are probably worse things that could happen, huh? Okay, it's fine. We'll blow it up later. Cavalier of Thorns is much worse, yeah. That is a good counter target. Reach is a problem. And now the end game starts to commence with the Dream Trawler. Draw a card. Gets the pumps. I think I still have one more planes, but let's make sure. Yep. 2 more planes, I believe, for the birth. Three more planes for the birth. Goes to show I don't know my own deck. Way to go, CGB. Always impressive. Draw a card. Hit him up lifelink. So we could play this Teferi and instant speed time wipe, and I think on this board that's really juicy. Does mean that the opponent can sneak something through after the time wipe, since they can pretty much force it on us, but whatever they play, I can probably recover from. Probably. Everything attacks Teferi? What do you think? Do we time wipe now, or do we hold up counter magic and time wipe after? If the opponent doesn't commit anything more to the board, I can do another turn like this. I'm not going to miss Teferi too much. It's fine. It also may make the opponent feel like they can make a play here. They're holding on to something. Skyland? What you got? To the bottom. Alright, the play is another Reef. Sure. Gotta deal with these someday. Alright, 2 non-land cards. That's pretty fabulous. Let's see if the opponent keeps moving here. Why not? Go nuts. Go nuts. I think I might just have to deck this opponent. Well, they are at 11. If I had a way to draw a million cards here, I can probably win. Although they have the goose, right? Yeah. Now the real question. Are they the mad lad who put negate in the deck? Nope. Well, they could have still blocked with the goose. Let's keep hitting our land drop. And try to set up. Absorbing probably just about anything and going for the Gadwa kill. Polukranos is a perfect example of something we can absorb, but we don't have to. We can just discard Athas's Intervention for hexproof. The opponent can respond though with multiple fights. Like they can fight again, and again, and again. So maybe it's just something we counter? How many cards are in your graveyard? There's still 7, but if the opponent brings Polukranos back again, they can only afford to fight with it once. As it is right now, they can fight, I can discard, they can fight again, I can discard again. But then I win. So that's fine. That doesn't save the opponent here. Though fighting on my turn does. That's true. Fighting on my turn does. Forgot about that. New cards, friends. New cards. Okay, so if we cast the Gadwick with a bunch of cards, the opponent can fight in response. And then we don't get to attack. The fact that the opponent let me attack here is kind of crazy. I thought for sure that they would fight with Pelucranos to make me tap it, because whenever you activate the Hexproof ability, you do have to tap it, and now they're going for it. It's kind of late. Feels weird discarding these Thassa's interventions. They're so good. Another card. Hit him. Pelucranos still a 12/12 with some walls in the way and 38 life. I don't think it's worth blowing up on its own. But we shouldn't be able to get away with like a Gadwick type situation. What to do? What to do? I think I just pass with everything up. I can still put some cards in my hand with Thassa's intervention and absorb something. The opponent might try to fight this a million times. We could also blow it up, but then they just bring it back again. I'll figure it out. But I think we'd say go. This wall can take one for the team. Not even trample. I'm so stunned. So we make 1/1s? I don't think so. I think we'll intervene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have 5 left. And I guess we'll scry? No, we don't have the mana for that, so I guess we'll White Castle. Take him to White Castle. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Okay, so this is for 5. I think that going over 5 right now, when I'm not even sure exactly what I need, is overkill. So that's why I think 5 is the right number. So here's a Shatter the Sky. Here's another Dream Trawler, when the opponent solves that one. And White Castle. Take him to White Castle, baby. Hit him up 1/1. 6 life. Good stuff. So the right time, I think, to target this, if you're going to fight it, would probably be the upkeep. I shouldn't be telling you this, because some of you viewers will use it against me. Should have just countered that Pelucranos a long time ago. Although countering it, they just played again. It's not particularly impressive. What do I deal? What do I deal? I think we go for a second trawler and just try to wear this thing down. Although I don't want to discard all my cards to make this hexproof. Let's see what happens when I play Teferi here. Try to bounce the Unchained. Okay. Do we let it die? I think so. Down to an 8/8. Pelucranos in the endgame is a lot more threatening than I expected him to be. Opponent can eat these as well if they wish, but they don't have any pressure on the board after that. This fight thing is hilarious to me, though. Yeah, so many Hydra bites. Oh my god. There's a card. Alright, so with that in mind, I think it's Gadwick time. I think only like 3 cards, though. Well, then I don't have Absorb open. It's a little rough. Let's just say go. I guess I have to fight through my opponent's graveyard, and that's how I deal with the Polukranos. I blow it up, I counter it. I just wear out the opponent's graveyard so that they can't keep bringing it back. A little more impressive than I would have given it credit for before. Late game, lots of mana. It's just kind of this unending removal spell. I think the Wraths are a better way to deal with it for a little while. Euro. Oh boy. This is where my deck's lack of exile is going to try to punish me, but their deck is only so big. They can only escape so many times. They can gain a lot of card advantage, but so can I. Let's go ahead and get another island. I've noticed the blue mana has been giving me trouble. You can use it if you want to. Are we gonna do some snappy Hydra fighting again? Yeah, got him. So good. All right, give me my island. Borrower. Okay, we're looking for an instant speed Wrath. I could play the Dream Trawler, but I really don't want to discard a bunch of cards to make it hexproof in the face of this. I guess I can also Brazen Borrow this, which is fine. Yep, just saying go, doing nothing, winning the long game. Our opponent's on 26 cards, we're on 17. So they can think that they're going to deck us. But the Finale should be able to handle that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 12. We have enough mana right now to reshuffle Finale if we want to. Don't think I need to yet. So we could Finale, untap 5, then bounce Polukranos, but I'm not actually in a hurry for the Finale, to be honest. I want the opponent to think they can deck me so that they're not worried about it, and then Finale them at the right time. So I want them to still be doing things like bringing back Euro into this Wrath. My turn? Okay. Well, if that's the case, we'll play Brazen Borrower before we do the time wipe. And do we make a 1/1 as well? I guess Polukranos just fights it. God, I'm not used to this card.
Be a bad idea.
Keep instant speed Wrath on the menu, boys. See if the opponent's willing to take this damage or fight. They're gonna take it. I think we're past that. There might still be a Plains in my deck, but I don't think that's what we want to be doing. Snappy, snappy. All right, let's use and abuse him a little. Do I get my block? Opponent's gonna fight. Of course they are. If I do it again, I can't Wrath, so we'll Wrath. I also lose the ability to absorb. My opponent is on a full grip, Maybe Shatter the Sky is just better. The opponents can fight down the Brazen Borrower anyway. Besides, making them draw a card with Shatter is our secret win con. Having them draw extra cards helps us deck them faster. Too evil. If I could escape and recreate a place that's my own world. Sure. Again, get them to draw cards, deck them faster. Let's go ahead and pitch the Omen and get our sweet, sweet Scry on. Another Shatter the Sky is okay, it can wait. Just want to hit a land drop next turn. Just want to hit that land drop. I want the opponent to bring back their Polukranos. I guess they don't have enough in the graveyard to do it, do they? So... what do we do? I mean, this is a 6/6. I can just chump it. It's fine. Everything about this is fine. Just draw back up to a full grip. Nice and easy. Brazen Borrower is a good one too. Can tap this down if we need to. Opponent wants to get 2 attacks. Yeah, I want you to draw cards and ramp and gain life. I middle you faster this way. Do it again. It was awesome. Do it again. Just bleed. Slow and steady. Make a misery. 12 cards left. 25 in the grave. We actually have to be careful not to draw ourselves back into a position where we deck first. So letting the opponent draw all these cards it's gonna do a good job. It's gonna be good for us. Trust me, it's all part of the plan. The master plan. Agent of Treachery, no. Let's not let that happen. That's a bit much for me. And now we're down on Absorbs. How many have we seen? There's one more in the deck, and there's 3 Thassa's Interventions in the graveyard. So we do need to draw back into counter magic again. And that's when we probably need the finale. Honk honk. I mean, this is the part where it's like, sure, they drew their deck, but it's just a bunch of ramp dorks. It's not that bad. See what we can scry up. And pass the turn. And see if the opponent can find a way to put pressure on me. What do they got in their graveyard? 6. It's getting pretty lean down there. Getting pretty tight. So 26, 11, 30. So with 37, 18. We have to make sure we don't have only 18 cards left. I should probably just do it for exactly 10. Keep it easy. Keep it simple. I can also get more cards out of my hand into my graveyard, but I just don't think it's that important. Alright, my turn. Finale. There's my absorbs. No maximum hand size for the rest of the game. You will now be decking as long as I don't draw too many cards. So, if that's the plan, do I want to attack my opponent, really? When they can gain all this life anyway? Don't think so. I think we just defense, defense, defense. Drown them in sadness. And now they see. Now they see that the writing is on the wall. Nameless. Fighting one that is nameless. Boom. Scry. Birth. Maybe a counter. Wrath, Wrath. It's so perfect. Do I want two of these? Sure. I mean, I don't know what I'm up against, but it's a Chandra Avatar. And this card is pretty much what you want there. That flies. That's a problem. But, sweepers. Hashtag sweeper. Hashtag sweeper shell. My opponent says hashtag unbreakable formation. I say, when did we start hashtagging again? Must be a raise the alarm, which means that my 0-4 does something. I could hold up mana for a venerated Loxodon, but that's something I could easily sweep, so let's have more births. More births in the family. Heliod, Sun Crowned. Yikes. Well, Brazen Borrower is here to save the day against those pesky indestructibles. We'll wait. We'll wait until this is about to trigger, or the opponent tries to turn Heliod on. Linden. Sure. Go away. Nobody asked you to be here. Nobody likes you. Gadwick. So do we shatter him? Next turn, the opponent plays this. Linden, trigger, trigger, counter, counter. That's their whole turn. I guess we can intervention counter the Heliod. That's a pretty good play. Leaves us under not too much pressure. Gives us more time to set up Time Wipe Gadwick or Time Wipe Borrower. But yeah, we don't want these getting larger. If we can keep our opponent from drawing when we play Shatter, that's good. What's it gonna be? Oh my god, our life gain deck's good now, everybody. Boom. Pay 6. A little bit of overkill for the LOL. Blockety block. Another blue source, like I said, gives us time to set up Gadwick. We could also just play the Trawler. But what would we discard for Hexproof? Still, the opponent doesn't want to target it because they know. They know we could simply discard a card. Let's do it. Send a message. We gain life too. So, White Mage. Now what? Gadwick Trawler. So many cards, so much life. And then if the opponent tries to go bigger than us, Time Wipe. Okay. Come at me, bro. Loxodon. Yep, they're trying to go bigger. We do want to find a Teferi or have a counter backup, because there are cards like Unbreakable Formation. Maybe we time wipe now. Forget the Gadwick. Forget the Gadwick play. We just hit him once with Dream Trawler and time wipe. Oh my god, though. Double Dream Trawler? With Gadwick? How could I turn that down, right? How could I turn that down, everybody? And let your memes be dreams. I'm gonna turn it down, though. It's too risky. We'll do it later. It's fine. So we'll use this to go get another Plains. And here's time wipe. Bounce that. Smash your board. Linden. Sure. I have a wall for that. I also have a trawler. And a Teferi. Just in case Unbreakable Formations are a thing that you do. Hawk. Macaw. Heliod. Yep. If Linden attacks, the trawler be trawling. I wonder if we shatter the sky on this. Oh, I guess Heliod don't care. Yeah, you can put a counter there. But I gain life too. You have an instant speed way to buff this. I don't think so. This doesn't have lifelink it's herself. Nothing else is in combat here. Okay, that worked. $26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do like double trawler. We do give our opponent a window to like really hit us, right? All right, let's go. See if we draw land. Land would make me feel warm and fuzzy. Doesn't look like it. We are up to 31 life. I don't think my opponent can beat me that easily. They can gain a lot of life though. Like, their combo is online. We could bounce the queen with Teferi, and then what else? I guess we could still draw the land and play the other trawler. I feel it. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Ugh. Oh Lord, and I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh Lord. Heraldic Banner, not something I would have expected in the deck. Doesn't work with Heliod very well, but works with, I guess, a bunch of the other creatures. I just want most of my cards to contribute to devotion if our plan was to ever attack somebody with a Heliod. And here it comes. Where are you going to put this counter? Yeah. You have to go Mega Hawk in this situation. Alright, wall. Do your work. This is going to get exciting.
Try this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Triggers. I will gain 20 something. You will take so much damage or chump with your hawk. Oh my god. Earn him. like the good old Ernum Jin, a nice throwback name. All tap lands on the draw. Not great. I feel like I've already seen this movie today, but we're going to try it again. Mono black. All right. Untap land. Okay. We'll make it work. I would have preferred an island. What can a guy do? I think that makes Absorb a pretty bad card here. I don't know when or how we're going to cast it. What we need to do is play the Birth of Meletis a few times and find Wrath. I don't think holding up the Borrower to hit the Knight is really the play. If the opponent wants to spend their turn pumping the Knight, we can play Teferi to bounce the Knight next turn and be pretty happy with it. But we do need Wraths. Ayara, yes. Very strong a play. Has much devotion. Here's my wall. So we can either play Teferi and try drawing to Wrath, or we can play Temple, bounce Ayara with Brazen, and try to scry to Wrath. It's possible the Teferi play might be better later. So yeah. When we could keep Teferi alive, specifically. Feels weird to bottom that. So yeah, we need to keep our opponent's devotion in check. So let's say go. And the plan is to bounce the Ayara. If the opponent attacks with everything, I'll put the O4 in front of the Knight. If the opponent pumps the Knight, that's fine. Uses up all their mana for the turn, then we bounce Ayara. We reduce their devotion. So here's my block. I'm not going to act until either they pump the Knight or do something else this turn. I'll take this damage from the Ayara to make sure it doesn't come down this turn. That they don't just replay the card. Nightmare Shepherd. Okay, that's a good Teferi bounce target, so get out of here, Ayara. By the way, their 1, 2, 3, 4 curve is perfect. If their last two cards are land, Grey Merchant, this is their god draw. Like, it doesn't get better for them. Is this the play? I think so. We just gotta keep this devotion in check and find a sweeper. It's hard out here. It's hard, you guys. We might have to slam a Gadwick next turn, just to have a blocker and get closer to what we need. Well, they have the land. Do they have the Gary? Yeah, I'm blocking this. You want to pump it? Use up some mana? Nope. I couldn't save Teferi, but I could tempt the opponent into pumping their Knight. And they play the Nightmare Shepherd again. It is good Wrath protection. So this is a scry. This gets me 3 cards deep, actually deeper than a Gadwick does right now. Brazen Borrower can chump the Shepherd and try to keep our life total high. I also would love to get this other Birth of Meletis going. So maybe that's the right play rather than playing the Gadwick this turn. Get those Shatter the Skies off the bottom, by God. And we have to get rid of this Shepherd somehow too now. It's an extra obstacle for sure. I think we might get Grey Merchanted. So we have to leave mana up as if we're ready for that. And I think Omen of the Sea is the right play. Just get deeper. But yeah, if I'm the opponent, I'm playing Grey Merchant even into potential counterspell. 100%. 100,000,000%. Because it doesn't get good after the board gets wrathed. Oh, Erebos. That's not good for us either. No, no. It's gonna be one of those games, everybody. At least we've got our walls, but they're not gonna help us. Wow. Play the Grey Merchant. Put me out of my misery. Please. Please just play the Grey Merchant and end this. Sometimes there's not a lot you can say. Maybe attack with all, huh? I don't know. Don't know nothing. Wrath here wouldn't have done it. There's still this Nightmare Shepherd to contend with. Not to mention they draw all these cards from Erebos. Wow. Cool. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Fun, 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 fun. Grixis. Maybe not as fun as I'd hoped. Pretty good. So running out Teferi is interesting, but Grixis opponents have so many ways to immediately kill Teferi that I don't know if it's right. I think it's worth a try though. Sitting in the hand doesn't do me much good. And I am going to draw right away since I expect the opponent to be Devil or Angrat's Rampage or Murderous Rider this Teferi. So I think if I'm not drawing the card, it's a mistake. And okay, Teferi is still here.
Don't worry, I got this.
Okie dokes. Awesome. Love it. Let's see what kind of cards our opponent likes to play. I'd like to find a Field of Ruin for their castle. Haha. Oh yeah, that kind of magic. Let's not.
Oh, I've done the hero.
What do you think? Do we draw two? I think that's fine. Get a Gadwick on the battlefield. Keep finding more counter spells. Try not to get blown out by another fires. Okay, the opponent Cavalier of Flames. It's good. Brazen Borrower likes this. They do get this soft hand reset. Sweet, sweet trigger to get rid of all their, what they might consider bad removal spells. Vanishing Light, Oketra. Okay. Means they just put whatever they want in their fires deck. They just always have fires anyway, so why not play all the colors of the rainbow? Tapping this is pretty good. Gadwick is down for the job. Bouncing it's fine too. If you'd like to continue flying through your deck, I'm down with that as well, I guess, since we're probably going to have to beat this opponent by grinding them out completely. It's very hard to tempo out the fires. Can be done. They usually have enough removal sweepers and generally powerful cards that you don't get away with that easily. So, yep. They do get to keep discarding, drawing a bunch. Feels good. Okay, this is my only counter right now, so I don't think I want to play it. And this is a tap down, so we'll save that. Keep plussing.
Trust me, I have a
We'll
plan.
bounce later, when we need to. They discarded Bone Crusher Giant, another Oketra. Another Oketra fan, huh? Here's my borrower. Tap that. They found their white source. Deafening Clarion. I can make them pay 4 more, but they have 4 more. Okay. 1 mana short of getting to use Time Wipe to get the Gadwick back, unfortunately. That's the way it goes. Trying to decide if I want to draw cards with this. I don't think I need to. Okay. Well, they do have Bone Crusher Giant, and they just discarded one. They probably have more. So I think using a bounce spell here is fine.
That's more like it.
Plus, if they play another creature, might be a good time to Shatter the Sky. Bounce it again. We also have the Labyrinth. It's setting up better and better. Uh-huh. Keep it going. Go ahead. Knock yourself unconscious with this. Banishing Light. Wow. I would have thought that Banishing Light on Teferi would make some sense. And here the opponent does decide to try it. How much do we want our Teferi? If we bring back a Brazen Borrower and then Time Wipe and get this back, how many lands are in the graveyard? None. So it's still a pretty clean kill. And then Brazen Borrower can bring Teferi back if we want to. But I think we just keep Teferi around. He's doing such a good job. Thassa's Intervention is also not a very good counter if Fires actually ends up on the battlefield. So now we're ready with the Shatter the Sky, I think. I think it's a good opportunity for that. Although we could also use the Labyrinth. Yeah, I guess Labyrinth forces the opponent to do more. Yeah. Yeah, you might have to play another creature. Ooh, your own Teferi? Okay. You've already, that's your second spell, but that's going to be a problem.
Let's slow this
Plus, okay, do you have something else? Or it's not your second spell, this was the first spell. I just meant if they play Fires, they couldn't play anything immediately after it. And of course then I draw an Absorb. Good times. Well, I can't counter what comes back down. I can bounce my own Borrower to bounce the Teferi. And then counter it, and then I have 3 mana left, and that means my Teferi dies. I can Time Wipe to get my Borrower back and then bounce the Teferi next turn, but that would leave me in a pretty bad place this turn. Another Cavalier might take my Teferi out. I think we make the opponent figure out how to kill the Borrower. It's tough, but we do have the Labyrinth. I don't have anything to do with the other 3 mana, but I have to believe the opponent can kill this Brazen Borrower, right? They have to be able to. So we bring you back. Next turn we bounce Teferi, then counter it. No damage there. So this turn the opponent might be able... Yeah, this turn they might be able to kill Teferi. It depends what they have. It's pretty rough having to leave Teferi on the board. So next turn, a 5-mana commitment deals with Teferi. If we find one more land, we can also Shatter the Sky that turn. But the tempo here is gonna scare me. There's no question. Like, if they have a big enough turn here, I'm in big trouble. Teferi minuses to draw. Yeah, I think they know the score. The score is they have to do something epic. Okay. Cool. Boing. Alright, back to this Drago stuff, guys. Back to this Drago stuff.
No, I am not making
Back to the land of counter magic. Oh, were you excited there for a minute? It's no big deal. Yep, scry it up. Maybe the opponent finds another Teferi? But we may as well spend it. Which means we should use the colorless mana. Oh, we can't. That's not how Absorb works. No colorless in that casting cost. Second Teferi? Is it? Could it be? Is it he? So I could draw 2. I could also run out the Borrower, which the opponent might remove. Teferi can bounce it. It means we get to do this again next turn. Opponent does have an obnoxious amount of mana. What do you think that black is? An Unmoored Ego? It ain't Bolus. Another Teferi. Yeah. Boing. Just gonna bounce nothing here and draw a card. Try to hit at the land drops. Lands matter. Also, Castle can attack the Teferi, I suppose. And let's see if the opponent finds something to put on top of their deck this time. 1 on the top. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make the opponent pay 12. What do they have to pay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I would have to do it for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'd have 1 mana left. Doesn't do me much good. Am I better off just taking the 2-for-1 with the Thassa's Intervention than interacting? I guess making the opponent pay a lot of mana, though, is good, too. But I could also flash out a Borrower and make a 1-1 to attack this Teferi. Let's see what, last time the opponent had to bounce this, so I think that's the play. Could be wrong. They weren't good against it last time. Removing the Borrower, I mean. I'm not sure what's going on with their hand. I'm sure that they're trying to carefully play Fires, Cavalier, one-shot kill me. But it gets harder every turn, not easier. Cavalier of Gales, yep. They only have 3 mana left. Well, if they plus Teferi, they go up to 5. Okay. They're thinking about the bounce. Here it is. Cool. Both of us drawing cards for days. Like I said, probably going to have to deck this opponent. Use my 1/1. The 1/1 to kill the Teferi. Brazen, petty theft, go away. Smash it. Get me a new planes. Nice shiny planes. Thank you. And yeah. Back to this Drago game.
Bad idea.
This might be a bad idea, he says. No, it's brilliant. Don't worry, everything here is fine. Everybody else, it's everyone else who doesn't understand the joys of these endless control battles. Just trying to unleash your brain upon their brain. Ah. Gah. Phew. Let him have it. So, my Cavalier plan, get the opponent to commit multiples of them. By the way, how do I deck somebody with a deck full of Cavaliers? How do I exile them? But CGB. You don't have the exile in your deck. Oh no! Get Gadwick and just keep tapping them down over and over, I suppose? Counter them. Counter them. Get all our absorbs back. Counter them. So if we have to counter them eventually, we have to start looking for opportunities to do exactly that now. Opponent is at 13. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this worked last time. But is it where we want to be? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yet the Teferi's gone. Once we work our way through every single Teferi in their deck, I'll feel a lot nicer. Like, what are they going to do? Resolve another Cav here? Yep. That's fine. You can deal. I got this wall after all. What you gonna do? Shatter the frickin' sky, right? I guess we could stop one of these, bounce one of these, but shatter the sky. So the minus, I could get back the Birth of Melitas. I don't think that's worth it. We'll just keep plussing.
Here goes nothing.
And is that enough now for finale? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 10. So we're on our 10-point finale. It's gonna happen. Doesn't have to happen right now, but it's gonna happen. So how is your graveyard on land? You have not put any lands in your yard, so I'm pretty happy to see that. So get your trigger. We could do this before the trigger, so that it's definite 0. But our Teferi's on 8. We're fine. This is fine. And no discards. Our opponent's been sculpting their hands with castles here, so we know that it's all threats, right? Bing. I mean, you get a card. Do enjoy that card. I guess I could have finale'd into Shatter. I always forget about the untap side of finale. Wonder if that's worth it. 2 to the bottom. Okay, they have an empty top of the library. Where we don't know what they have. They don't know what they have either. They have wishes trying to granted. Scary. What could they do with this much mana? Maybe their idea is Chandra. Usually that's what happens when they do this. Let's see what they grab. I can out-life gain a Chandra emblem or two. But I do need to set up a board to attack her. Thought Distortion. Okay, so you need fires to resolve that. You already played a spell, 2 spells this turn. So we can't let the opponent have a fires. That's what you're telling me. Okay. Sure. So we need to find another counter here. Oh, the opponent actually, they have 1 black. They might be able to get the other. Is this playing this side of the Fae of Wishes? Yep. What do I do? By the way, finale, getting Thought Distortion. Talk about a 1-up. So how do we deal with this? If our opponent has their other black source, I can't stop them from casting it. I can't get this finale out of my hand. How do we beat it? Can we beat it? We have to attack the opponent to death? Maybe we do. We can't counter it. It's going to exile our whole hand, our whole graveyard. I don't have an Ashiok's Erasure, which would be a really nice catch-all. Dream Trawler's a card. I don't have that yet. Like setting up some kind of an Epic Wrath situation might be the way. So I can bounce this, start attacking the opponent. This is so tough. So I can't cast sorceries at instant speed this turn because I didn't plus my Teferi. So I feel like I should just get this done. And then we need to hope that our opponent can't cast that card, and that we can counter every single instance of Fires of Invention. How well have they set themselves up? Will it be good enough? I shouldn't have played the Temple, so I could play in 1 more land and have another Absorb open. Little mistake. So I guess I may as well play this. This 1 Absorb is all I have to try to fight the fires, and if they have the second black source, I basically lose. The game is just about over on the spot. Maybe not, though. I do have Gadwick. Non-creature, non-land. I'd still have a grip, and I would still have Gadwick to draw more counter spells. Maybe I'm overblowing this. I figured I'd have my whole deck in my hand and getting it exiled, but getting the finale cast first so that the deck got reshuffled means I still have a lot to draw to. And the opponent is at 9. So what are they going to do here? They've got a grip. Cavalier Flame. It's fine, I think. Can take out the Teferi. I guess that's the worst that can happen. Doesn't cast Thought Distortion, but maybe the opponent has Negate, or they can tutor for it. Either way, it uses up their mana. I got Teferis just to spare. They do discard a Fires. Wow. I think Fires would be one of the key cards right now. How on earth am I going to win this game? That 9 life has to go to 0, I think. Kenrith. Give it Trample. It's fine. Our opponents could still go land Fires, but they can't play the Thought Distortion. I have removal for the Fires, so yeah. We'll absorb the Kenrith. Attacks Teferi. It's fine. There's the other black source. Wow, they didn't go for it. Unless they just drew it. Alright, so we know we're going to lose all these spells, but not the creatures. And not the lands. So we want to get Shatter Cast or Time Wipe. We want to get Time Wipe cast to bounce the Borrower. And we can do that at instant speed, so we can play the Teferi. Cut the opponent down to 5 little life. So right now we're going to lose an Intervention and some Wraths and a backup Teferi. I can live with this. How many lands in the graveyard now? Still none. The opponent has not prioritized filling up their graveyard with land for the Cavalier at all. It's made some things easier. So here comes Thought Distortion. So we want to Time Wipe. At instant speed. Bounce you. Could have been a lot worse. Now what did they do? Oh my god, what a weird game. What another epic game. How am I gonna make all this into a video? Yeah, I've been playing this deck for like 2.5 hours. One event. I don't even think this is final boss. The 4th Teferi. Running this out doesn't exactly achieve much. Let's go ahead and let that resolve.
Stand by and watch.
Now the opponent can grant it at... Well, they can't. They still have to get rid of my Teferi. I'm going to read Birth of Meletus. They're going to bounce Birth of Meletus? Sure.
Don't worry, I got this.
No, they're bouncing without a target. That was misleading. They know I have Brazen Borrower. They know I can make a 1/1. I haven't really prioritized keeping Teferi healthy. Not the way I would, but not up to me. Ethereal Absolution. Okay, I guess they just wanted a threat. Asa's Intervention. Okay. It doesn't really matter if interacting with Teferi until I have a counterspell in my hand. Let's draw some cards. How many? 5 is usually a pretty lovely number. I want to make sure that I have enough mana left over to Brazen Bounce and counter, and then I would still have 2 mana after that. That sounds okay. Let's make it 7. Not sure what I would do with that extra mana. Still no counter. Weird. Well, I don't have to play the Borrower now. I could play you. I might still find a counter. We tap the Fae of Wishes. Get a card. None of those. How about an Absorb? Nope. Just a reminder, I have no max hand size for the rest of the game. One of the benefits of Finale. But now we do have to reduce our opponent's life total to 0. We've committed to that. The good news is they're only at 5, which means I just need to set up a turn where I can flash in a couple Borrowers on end step. The opponent doesn't interact them with Teferi, and we smash in for the win. At least that's my big plan. Whoa. Getting frisky. Okay. Time wipe? Could be.
Now.
I think I got that muted. So, yeah, nothing to do about that. Opponent could have gained a life with the lifelink before combat if they would have wanted to. Maybe they really didn't expect that to resolve. Mm-hmm. Black mana cast that card as well. It's kind of interesting. Throw a few Watery Graves in the deck and you're not as reliant on fires to cast your sideboard cards. A little bit of technology. The opponent can exile the Gadwick, make a 2/2. They definitely want to do that on end step, so I can't Teferi bounce it. What am I doing? Flashing in the Brazen Borrower, it dies immediately to the Absolution, so let's bounce the Absolution. There's a token. I think it's time to trawl. I think it is time to trawl. Probably not an easy card for the opponent to deal with. Keep plussing. I don't think the minus here is worth it. Kick it over to you, opponent. How will you deal with that? They need a time wipe, I suppose. Replaying Absolution's fine. I can keep bouncing it when it bothers me. I also have Gadwick Trawler ready to go. So if the opponent passes the turn without getting this off the battlefield, this game is going to end in yet another blue and white fireball. All right, let's make this a little easier on ourselves. Uh-huh. Oh, you're not getting another turn. Borrowers come in, draw off the top, power up the Trawler. Gadwick can be for about as much as we might want. We'll go with 5. Power up the Trawler even more. And then play a Brazen Borrower, tap the Fae of Wishes. Game over. Shiro Hige. Yeah, draw land, be good. That simple. The deck wouldn't mana screw us at a time like this, would they? It's like half mana sources if you count the gift. The birth. Sorry, this is fine. It's fine. I'll take it. Field of Ruin hasn't been the most shining card in this deck in this event. Hasn't really had a moment. Oh, final boss. No Birth of Malitas against the red deck is scary. Oh boy. Oh boy. We couldn't get out of here without going through a red deck. Yep. 2 mana, draw 2 red. At least we will be shattering the sky next turn. Set that back. There's a birth. Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Spitter, return. Arise, Spitter, Spitter, arise. Alright. Fervent Champ. Hating on Teferi. I would hope they'd go face. All you gotta do is click. Opponent thinking about that Rimrock Knight maybe, or Shock. Alright, they've got 3 critters. This doesn't hurt me. But we could... Well, next turn we can do Birth and Teferi, so I think it's an easy Shatter the Sky. Take your 3 for 1. Set them back. Make them rebuild. But yeah, next turn is Birth to Fairy, and if we do have the blue source, then Dream Trawler should be solid. But let's see what they do to apply pressure. Hype. They're going to turn their attention to my face. Okay. Okie dokie. I can roll with this. We'll go get the basic planes, put it out there so we don't have to take damage from the Hallowed Fountain, play the Teferi, plus it. I'm telling you, this card, this little card, it's like the best anti-red card I've seen in a long time. Yep, slaying fire in my face. I understand.
That's more like it.
4 mana. Torbrin time. Teferi's ready. Frenzy. Okay, I haven't been frenzied in a hot minute. Still gonna bounce it. What? Where are you going? Wow. I guess they were that tilted. Can't beat that 2 life gain in that 0-4 wall. Holy cow. Some of you leave me in comments all the time that you want the uncut version. Careful what you wish for. All that for some gold, some gems. 3 hours of my life. I'll tell you a secret. I loved every minute.